A tiny, lonely kitten was found in the western part of Philadelphia. He was so small that he almost got lost in the tall grass near an abandoned building. A worker passing by heard his faint purring, barely audible over the noise of the wind. The kitten couldn't meow, but as soon as the man touched his fur, the little one began to purr loudly, as if trying to say, "Thank you for finding me." He was covered in fleas and looked emaciated, but his eyes shone with trust. The worker took the kitten to the nearest shelter, where they immediately began caring for him. At the same time, a girl named Ellie Kagnazzi, who had been helping foster abandoned animals for several years, was working at the shelter. She had recently released 4 kittens from her care, each of whom had found a new home, and now she was looking for a new ward. When she entered the nursery, her attention was immediately drawn to the tiny orange kitten curled up in the corner of the cage. The moment she saw him, her heart began to race. It was love at first sight. He was so tiny when I first held him in my arms. He couldn't meow, but he purred as if to say, "I'm here, I'm alive." Ellie recalls. She named the kitten Artie, and he turned out to be a real fighter. His first days were tough. He constantly needed warmth and care. He had fleas, but a warm bath quickly solved that problem. Little Artie purred while Ellie dried him with a soft towel, as if he cherished every touch. He was unique. At just 7 days old, he started purring the moment I held him, Ellie says warmly. The kitten slowly learned to eat from a bottle, but after a few tries, he succeeded and was very proud of himself. Ellie remembers how worried she was, as it was her first time caring for a kitten on formula. "I was very anxious because kittens this young, without their mother, often face the risk of sudden death," she shares. The first month was especially difficult. Ellie got up every 2 hours to feed and keep the kitten warm. "I slept in a separate room where Artie lay in a soft box next to the bed. During the day, I took him to work with me so I wouldn't miss a feeding," Ellie says. Those weeks left her with little time for sleep, but she knew she was doing it to save a tiny life. When Artie started walking, he became even more active and bold. He learned to climb up people's arms and would always find the coziest spot, usually on our shoulders, Ellie laughs. Every day, he ran around the house, playing with other animals, and at night he curled up next to someone, feeling safe. Ellie recalls one evening when she had to rock Artie like a baby and sing him a lullaby. "It was such a tender moment. He looked at me with his big eyes and seemed to understand that he was safe," she says. 3 months passed, and Artie became a real mischief maker, loving to play with his new friends. But the day came when he found his forever family. Yesterday, the orange kitten moved to his new home, where his brother and sister kittens were already waiting for him. "I'm happy that Artie now has a loving family and new adventures ahead of him," Ellie says with a smile. Now she's preparing for the arrival of new foster animals, knowing that there are many more lives she can care for and love. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel to watch even more great videos.